Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura B. Flosstube. Thanks so much for joining me. As you can see, I have a sleeping kitty behind me. Hopefully he doesn't jump on my head or anything during the middle of this, but hey, we'll just go with it, right? So anyway, I'm a little disheveled because I had to move how I put things typically because there's a cat in the way. But it's all good, it's all good. I will work around it. So first of all, the winner for the drawing for the project bag, Renee, hello. I haven't seen an email or anything from her. So Renee, if you're watching this, please email me so I can get your project bag mailed out to you. My email should be in the contact information below on my channel. If not, it's Laura, L-O-R-A, brinkman@gmail.com. And I'll leave a comment on your comment from 2 floss tubes ago. And then hopefully we can connect and I can get that prize out to you. So that's a little housekeeping. Other than that, thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed and liked my videos. Thanks so much for sharing how you found me. It's so cool to know that YouTube is kind of recommending my channel now to people. Super fun for that. And yeah, so let's jump right in. I have lots of stitching to kind of share. I have lots of quilting to share tonight. And then I also have some updates and some fun things to show you that I've collected over the past 2 weeks. And a couple of March projects that I want to tell you about. So let's get going, right? First of all, I'm going to share what I haven't done. I haven't worked anymore on the flags on the 4th. This is the American Quilters cross stitch design by Counter Stitches. It's a pattern by Katie Nolan. If you have watched before, you know that I've kind of, when I first started this, I was going to stitch on the 4s of each month and then decided that I'm going to just allocate 3 days. Well, I've done my 3 days in February because tomorrow is March 4th or March 1st. Can you believe it? And so I do have 3 days on my calendar in March to focus on the stitch. So that is my first whip that has no progress. So that's fun, right? I don't have any finishes this time because I have been pretty busy with some quilting stuff. And sorry for the glare up there. Let me see if I can, one moment. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I don't have any finishes because I've been really busy with quilting the past 2 weeks. And I also have been having some issues with my neck and my shoulder being really sore. And I haven't wanted to stitch in the evenings. So I haven't stitched much in the evenings. And my husband and I kind of started playing Scrabble Go, and I've been addicted to that for a couple of evenings too. But I'm getting back into stitching. I started a couple new things that I'll share in just a few minutes. Okay, so my first other, my second whip is the Autumn Love stitch. And if you've watched before, you may remember I am stitching this on a 28 count Lugana. It's an antique white, I believe is what they call it. And I am using the Called For DMC. I did have it in the hoop, shame on me, but that's the way life is sometimes, right? And so I have made some progress on some borders. I have this side totally done, I think. No, I don't. I have this side almost done. This side is almost done. I still have a couple scallops down there to do. And then I have the frames at the bottom. And I am not going to be working on this one for a little bit, but it's going to be, it's in the rotation. And I'm hoping to have all the borders done in March, and then including maybe a couple of the frames too, the little, you know, fill-in parts for the frame. I am using a Nerge hoop for that. They're kind of the latest rage. I don't know. They're really cool because they tighten down kind of at an angle, and they're square, well, rectangle, but that's, you know. I got mine on Amazon. I know some of the needlework shops are carrying them, and Fat Quarter Shop is carrying them. So just kind of look around. I like the extra small and the small. I did get a medium hoop, and it was just too big. And to be quite honest, I'm wondering if it's not the small hoop that is also just a little too big for my hand. That's causing some of my shoulder pain. So I'm doing an experiment with that and only using the extra small to see if that helps resolve some of that issue. You just never know. I mean, who knows? I could have just slept wrong and just keep aggravating it too, or move something, or I don't know. Anyway, the next one that, oh, this is a work in progress, but it's also a start. Last time I showed you, I'm doing the Houses on Peppermint Lane by Pansy Quilts. Is that what that's called? Pansy, what is it called? Doop-a-doo. Oh, I'm sorry. It's by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. And I showed you the Peppermint house last time and told you I was going to start the gingerbread house. Well, I am kind of following the schedule with Fat Quarter Shop because Kimberly Jolly is doing a stitch along for the Houses on Peppermint Lane. I kind of followed that, but again, like I said, my shoulder's been kind of bugging me. So I didn't get as far as I thought I would, but that's my progress on the gingerbread house. And here's the Peppermint house in case you want to see it again. And then there is the gingerbread house. I did get the reindeer done. I was really excited about that. I feel like anytime I finish like a section in the cross stitch, I just feel like I am, you know, moving right along with those. And again, I'm using the Nurge frame on this. This is an 18 count Aida cloth with called for DMC. The Aida cloth I dyed myself, and it's just like a tea dye and a little rose quartz grit liquid dye. All right, the next one. This is the one, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen a post last night or this morning, depending on when you check Instagram, that I had a little tease on this one and it was like, hey, I have a new start. Guess what it is? And Stitching Granny of 17 was like, that's a bear. And I was like, yeah, it is a bear, but you know, but what bear is it? No, you are correct. It is a bear, and I did finish more of him today on lunch. But this is my start for the 2017 Prairie Schooler Santa. So there's a polar bear here, and Santa's standing here with a sack of toys, and then the border around, and then you got this cute little bird in Santa's pocket. So that's kind of fun, little bird. So I am going to be stitching on this again tonight. And then it's going to go away so I can do my next start that starts March 1st. Hopefully you remember that I'm doing the Pinker and Punkin. Excuse me. I'm doing the Pinker and Punkin 2023 stitch along with her Saltbox houses. I've showed January and February. If you missed those, you can go back the last 2 Flosstubes, I believe. It'd be like the first or second one in January and then the first one in February. I showed you Elizabeth Heartlines and the Winter Salt Box. And then I also did, I don't remember, it's a salt box that has like crafty things, like a tomato pin cushion and things like that with it. I'll insert a chart here that shows this is like what I'm doing in 2023. So I have 12 of Melissa's salt boxes selected to do, and all of these are free patterns. So you can go to her blog and just download these patterns for free, and they're super cute. And her blog is like so cute. And she's very active with her blog, and she has lots of information and lots of great ideas on there. So even if your cross stitch isn't your thing, she also does a lot of quilting stuff, and she does embroidery too, which the red work is just amazing. So I may have to check into that sometime too. But so at the beginning of each month this year, I'm going to be doing a Pinker and Punkin salt box. So like I said, I've done one for January and February, and I actually did one in December to kind of kick off my year. So March, and I mentioned this last time, March, I'm going to be doing a Dorothy May's Spring Salt Box. This is a free pattern. I'll insert a picture here. of Dorothy May's Salt Box. So that's my March pattern, but I am going to change the color of the house and the flower pots to like a teal color, because these are going in my sewing room, and my sewing room is kind of like a teal and purple color. You can't tell, but this wall is actually purple. I don't remember the actual color, but throughout the day it's kind of weird because it either looks white or it looks gray or it has a little tint of lavender. So I like lavender and teal. Those are kind of like my colors. So I'm kind of switching up how I'm doing Dorothy May's Salt Box. Here are the colors I'm using, and as I told you, the last couple times I pulled colors, I am using Anchor Floss. So I'm using the Anchor Floss spools, and I am kind of switching it up a little bit because I want the windows to have a yellow gold glow, but I don't obviously need the robins up top to have gold chests. So I have a couple different colors for them. And then also, let's see, there's like pink flowers, I believe. I think that's where I did this. Yeah. I want my house to be a teal color, and then the roses are going to be like a rosy pink color. So these are all my Anchor Floss colors in case you're interested in any of those. And then I'll show them to you really quick too. All right, so here are the colors I'm going to be using for Dorothy May's Spring Salt Box. And this is going to be the house color. And this is the flower pots. And then, sorry guys. I thought I had these sorted, but obviously I was wrong. They look so cute together though when they're sorted in the box, so. All right. And those are my rose colors. That's the color for the windows, and then these are for the robin. So those are my colors. Yay for Dorothy May. But I am super excited about the cloth. So I am using the 28 count Lugana floss. I'm gonna put this on the whiteboard so you can really see it. But I dyed it. Isn't that amazing? I love this. I love this color, this fabric, this modeling so much. So for this, I used the liquid dye. I scrunched it up in a little bowl. I mixed a little purple and fuchsia together because I didn't want my purple like purple. Just because I knew I was also adding teal, which would make my purple even more intense. So I tried to tone it down a little bit with the fuchsia. I spooned over the fuchsia purple mix, and then I soaked it in the teal. I rinsed it pretty quickly after both of those, and then I spooned over more of the purple fuchsia mix, and then soaked it in the teal for probably about 15-20 minutes, just long enough to put a load of laundry away, and did a couple other things too, I don't remember. About 15 minutes, and then just rinsed it out and let it dry. I am so excited about this though. This is gonna be so cool with the colors that I chose. So that's my cloth, and that is gonna be a start that I will work on tomorrow night because it's March 1st tomorrow. Yippee skippies. All right. So that, I believe, oh, I should probably put the pattern back in that bag. Otherwise tomorrow night I'm gonna be like, where'd my pattern go? Well, maybe I wouldn't. Well, yeah, I would. I'd be freaking out. Sleepy kitty. If I pet him, he'll cry because he's my husband's cat, not mine. He hangs out with me, but like, don't touch him. Yeah. Don't touch him. Yeah. Poor baby. Okay. All right. So those are all of my works in progress, and then also the 1 March start. I do have a 2nd March start, which is the featherweight stitch. I'll put a picture. I need to pull everything for this. I'm not really sure what fabric I'm using. I'm not sure what colors I'm using. I know I want to color match the sewing machine to my featherweight. If you haven't seen my featherweight, look up my channel, look up my Singer featherweight reproduction or renovation or remodel, something, I don't know. Look at my featherweight video and you can see pictures of my featherweight. It's a really pretty tealish green color. So I plan on stitching this with a tealish green for the machine, and then I'll obviously have to switch out some of the other colors like the thread, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the fabric yet. I don't want a tea stain. Kind of thinking a gray, and I'm kind of thinking a lavender, so I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with that. We'll have to see what happens, but that is a start that I'm probably going to be starting on either the 5th or the 6th, because that's my birthday start. So excuse me. All right, okay, so that is all the stitching stuff that I have. If you want to stick around, I have all kinds of quilts to tell you about. I'm going to start inserting some pictures because I promised, I think 2 videos ago, that I would share pictures of the quilts that I stitched at my brother's, or I quilted at my brother's. So this first one is the MG logo quilt. And this one I did for my husband. He goes to a lot of car shows and he wanted something to hang that was really, you know, nice. This is actually the second one I've made for him. The first one, we've just used it a lot and it just needed to be replaced. So this one we're going to reserve just for hanging and display. We're not going to like use it under our chairs and for, you know, picnics and things like that. So I also, the runner next to it, he has a couple shows where he can like set up his trophies and other awards and stuff that he's won in the past with the car, because he's won a lot. So I did like a trophy runner, not a table runner, but a trophy runner for him. And both of those are quilted with like a flame pattern. And I do freehand all of my quilting for the most part. Sometimes I'll use a pantograph, but nothing is computerized. All of it's free motion. All right, so the next one the next one's a Prairie Meadow quilt. I'm actually going to be hanging this quilt in my living room tonight. I put up my red and white Lori Holt sampler for February, but now it's almost March. So I am going to hang up the Prairie Meadow applique quilt. I love this quilt so much. It's just amazing. It's using the Prairie Meadow fabric line by Riley Blake. Lori Holt is the designer, and then she did a free sew along on her blog. You can still get those blog posts and, you know, have the instructions to make this quilt if you like it. You will need the Sew Simple shapes, but she has all of that information in her Be Prepared post for Prairie Meadow. So if you're interested in that one, look it up. The next one is Scrappiness is Happiness. This is also Lori Holt's design. This is with a book that her latest book that she published with Fat Quarter Shop with It's So Emma as a publisher. They did a sampler quilt. And so basically you made 1, sometimes 2 with the mushrooms and the butterflies of each block in the book to make this into a sampler. This sew along is actually still going on. I just wanted to be done and I had the book. So I actually used mostly scraps from the Prairie Meadow applique quilt to do the Scrappiness is Happiness quilt. So that's something, you know, that I didn't realize when the first couple quilts that I made. When you buy the quilt kits with Fat Quarter Shop or Reb's Fab Stash, if you get a Fat Quarter bundle, if you get that Fat Quarter bundle, you have plenty of fabric. Most of the time I can get 2 or even 3 quilts out of those fabrics. And now, you know, obviously I need to like add in some backgrounds, and then sometimes you'll need some larger pieces for some of the bigger blocks and the borders and the binding, of course. But as far as like the piecing in the quilt, you can usually get 2 or 3 quilts out of one Fat Quarter bundle. At least that's been my experience. So I know the cost is sometimes like eye-shocking when you're looking at how much these kits are, but then when you think about, well, I'm getting, you know, 2 or 3 quilts out of this, it's a little more economical, I guess is what I'll say. But I really love the Scrappiness is Happiness quilt, and it looks so cute. And I did put a sleeve on the back of that one. It may hang at some point too in the living room. We'll see. Okay, and then the next 3 quilts are just some basic rail fence scrappy quilts. I did all of those out of a kit that my local quilt guild had, and they'd had it for several years. I was tricked, Justina. I was tricked into taking this kit, and there were so many pieces of fabric, and I made so many blocks, and so it ended up making 3 throw size quilts. And I basically quilted those with really simple designs, nothing too fancy on those, but those are donation quilts for our guild. We donate quilts to the Rainbow House and Ronald McDonald House and the Children's Hospital and the Chemo Center and things like that. So these will go there. All right. Okay, so moving on to, I'm telling you a lot of quilty stuff this time. I went to a retreat with my quilting guild. It was at the Lake of Ozarks in Missouri. I went a day early. So I was there from Friday through Monday about noon. So I got there Friday about 4 and I was there until Monday about 11:30 or noon. And I stitched my little heart out. That's all I'm going to say. I took my featherweight. I also took my juki because, well, I hadn't ever used my featherweight for that long, and I'm so glad that I did take my juki because my featherweight was doing fine. It was totally my error when I went to clean it. I didn't get the needle plate back with the little, there's like a little finger for the bobbin case. I didn't get that set correctly, so then it wouldn't work. It really was like less than a 5-minute fix when I got home, but I was just very tired and kind of frustrated when I was there. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put the featherweight away, it's fine, and get my juki out and go to town again. So Friday night, I actually put together one of the Moda Love Charm Pack quilts. It's a 36-inch quilt topper, 32-inch quilt topper. And then when I got home, I added borders to it. But here's a picture of the first one, just leaning on the back of my chair. I didn't really take a good picture of that one. Then the next morning, I did the second Moda Love Charm Pack quilt. And then I did, I actually did an Oh My Stars by Pat. Oh, goodness. Pat Sloan. Goodness. I did one of the Pat Sloan's Oh My Stars. It's a free pattern on her blog. I don't have a picture of it, unfortunately. Sorry about that. I then started working on my swoon blocks. So I did my swoon quilt, and it's a Thimble Blossoms pattern. I used I used Tim Holt's Eclectic Provisions. And then I also used a basic gray Hits the Spot grunge for the background. I really like the way this turned out. It was kind of fun because once I had the 9 main blocks done, and these blocks were like 24 inches, so almost as big as one of the quilt tops that I had been doing. But when I got the 9 quilt blocks done, it was kind of fun. I laid them out on the floor and asked a few of my fellow quilters to come over and help me arrange them, and we had quite the conversation and took pictures of it in black and white and kept moving blocks around here, there, and the other, and finally got it to the arrangement that we liked. And it turned out really good. I love this quilt. So I'm excited to get it quilted. I have the backing fabric ordered. And then I just need to schedule a time to take these 4 down to my brother's to quilt. All right. So in addition to that, I did make some retreat blocks, and I believe I showed those to you, but guess what? I won one of the sets of the bees. Yay! So I have 9 little bees. This is one that I did. I have 9 little bee blocks that I need to figure out what I'm going to do with. And I should have put these up on my design wall, but other things are there, so sorry about that. Yeah. So I think, okay, so this is my idea. There are 9 of these, right? So I think what I want to do is I want to make more churn dash blocks and then kind of offset the bees with another churn dash, but in that one have like a little flower in the center. So we'll have the bees and flowers in the centers of other churn dash blocks. And I'm not sure, I think I'm gonna go for maybe 16 blocks because that'd be a 4x4, be a square, but that's okay. And because I think they're 9-inch blocks. I think that's right. I'm not sure. Yeah, they look about 9-inch. So I think that's what I'm going to do with those. But then, in addition to the bee blocks, I'm a lucky girl. I also won the mystery block that we did. And there are a lot of these mystery flower blocks. I think there's 16 of them. I think that's right. It might be 20. There's a lot of the mystery flower blocks. So, and really, I could probably take some of them and alternate those with the bee blocks and just have the 2 quilts. But we'll see what happens with those. I'm gonna let my ideas marinate a little bit, I think, and see what I come up with. I want to come up with something really cute though, because it's kind of a joke. The ladies in the guild are like, they make the blocks and they get the blocks and then they don't do anything with them. And I had a couple of people tell me, like, of all the people that could have won those blocks, I'm so glad it was you, because we know you'll actually like make a quilt with them. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna make a quilt with them. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but it's gonna happen. So that's gonna be fun. And then the other thing I did while I was at retreat was I made a whole bunch of the potato chip blocks. And so if you follow, I cannot think of her name, but it's Conquering Mount Scrapmore. She has this fun potato chip. Oh, that's probably like the worst one to show you. Haha, sorry, hang on. Let me find a better block to show you. That one's fine. It's just that it's not, it's cute. So you basically use 2.5 by 4.5 inch strips, and there's, I think 16, I don't know. There's about 32 pieces in there. So look her up. It's Conquering Mount Scrapmore. The service project coordinator for our guild wanted us to make a whole bunch of those to turn into service project quilts. So since this is crazy, so I sewed Friday night and then all day Saturday. So Friday night I sewed from like 5 till 11 p.m. And then Saturday I got back up and I was down there at 6 and I sewed until 11. Sunday I was down there at 7 and sewed until, and this is 7 a.m. and 6 a.m. 7 until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And then Monday I got down there about 7:30, I think, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and sewed until about 11:30. Now we did have brunch Sunday and Monday, and we had dinner Saturday and Sunday. So I had some breaks in there, and I actually took a couple-hour nap on Saturday too. But for the most part, I did a lot of sewing when I was there. So that was fun, and it was great, and it was re-energizing and refreshing, and a good break from just life. So amazing time. All right, so I want to turn this around so I can, before I do that, let me show you this too. My little retreat goodies. I can't believe these ladies that coordinated a retreat for our guild this year. There were like 50 of us there, and they made all of us, or one lady did a paper pieced pin cushion with a little bee on it. Isn't that cute? So cute. These ladies are just so talented. And then they also made this cute little pouch with little bee fabric and a little bee ornament that it actually holds a needle threader on the back. But this is like the cutest little bee. And this is, this is sewn too. I mean, oh my goodness. And then they made these cute little scissor caddies. And this is like pretty thick stuff. It must have some pretty good interfacing or something in there. It has some felt on the inside with a needle and some pens and a pair of scissors and then a Velcro shut. Isn't that cute? They did such a great job. I was so excited about all the stuff that we got at retreat. It was super fun. And then a couple other goodies that I got myself the Featherweight shop had their Featherweight days, and it was 22% off. If you missed it, I'm sorry. It was February 21st and 22nd. They had 22% off everything on their site. So I accept machines, obviously. So I ordered a couple things, but a couple things that I ordered for myself was this cute little needle minder. And it has like a little, it's not focusing there. Oh, there we go. There's that one. And then this is their new one. How cute is that? It's really cute. I like it. So I'm looking forward to using those. Now they're calling them pen pals because you can stick them on the faceplate of your Featherweight, and they're magnetic, so you can like stick your pens and stuff on them. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'll use them in my project bags with my cross stitch stuff. So super fun. All right, so let me flip this around so I can show you my progress on Calico Garden and Sewcialites too. Okay, so on the left are the Calico Garden blocks. That's done through this week. The morning, or not the Morning Glory. I keep calling it Morning Glory, but it's Forget Me Not. The tall one is the Forget Me Not block. So now that we have those done, if you're sewing along too, I don't know if you realize this, but we have all of our border blocks done. Because I do have the 23 border star, Calico star border blocks done as well. So I could actually put my outer borders together and have them ready to sew onto the quilt when we get that far. But I don't know if I'm going to or not. I'm kind of thinking yes, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we could do that. We could do that at this point. If you're sewing along with this, we are in the position that we could put our borders together. Okay, and then I had the Sewcialites 2 quilt along, and this is with Fat Quarter Shop. It's a block of the week. It's still ongoing. All the patterns are free. Now, I decided that I did not really care for their setting, and I've been trying to decide what I was going to do with it. Well, then when I saw block 16, which is the Christmas star, I was like, oh my gosh, I love that block so much. So I took the size 6 block and basically quadrupled it. If you've never sized up a quilt block before, basically you take whatever the measurements are, subtract 1/2 inch, quadruple it, because I was going to 24 inch, and then add that 1/2 inch back, your 1/2 inch seam allowance. And it turned out so cute. I love it so much. So then what I did was I just used 2.5 inch strips to just frame that block in the center. I used one of my pattern fabrics and then the background fabric just to separate the center from the outside. And then the blocks all have a 1 inch sashing, 1.5 unfinished sashing to do all the way around. And so it'll work out that all of the 6 inch blocks will surround that middle 24 inch block. After I get those together, I am going to be doing a border on the outside of it as well. I have a couple things in mind. I haven't landed on a yes, this is the one yet, but I have a couple ideas. Okay, so that's what I have to share, I believe. Yeah, so in 2 weeks' time, I hope I will have the Dorothy May Spring House to show you. Yay. And I should have a start on the Featherweight stitch. I'm hoping that I'll have more of my Autumn Love done as well. Let's check March. Let's see. March. Yeah, I'm going to start out with the Dorothy May Spring House on the 1st and then go into the Featherweight start and then work on the Autumn Love. And then I'm going to go back to Flags for 3 days. And I also have the Prairie Schooler Santa that I'm not going to finish him tonight. There's no way. So I'll finish him in March as well. So yeah, the last week of March, we were going to Colorado to see my nephew. Yay! So I plan on taking Autumn Love with me while we're in Colorado. And so I'm hoping that I'll have a lot of progress to do on that one. So anyway, yeah, that's what I have stitching and quilt wise. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please make sure you tell your friends to find me and subscribe. I love finding new stitchy friends, so that's kind of fun. And then also when we reach 700 subscribers, I'm going to give away some scissor fobs and like project bag fobs, basically. I don't think I have any in here. I don't know. They're in my bags. I'll show those next time too. So I hope you have a great time stitching. I hope you find something that inspires you. Leave a comment below and tell me what you're stitching on right now. I'd love to see and hear what you're stitching on and what you're excited about from Market that is like later this week. I'm excited about Market. There's several things that I want. So yeah, and I will see you guys next time.